Ay, ay. Yo, it's A-Mac in the place, talking smack with a grin. Light it up, hit the couch, let the madness begin.
I'm too hot for the drama, too fly for the hate. Rolling up a topic that I puff and debate. Late night rabbit holes deep in the net. Conspiracies and memes got me breaking a sweat. Let me tell you about a lizard running Wall Street. Or a dude who thinks the earth's just a flat sheet. Aliens in Vegas playing blackjack, high stakes. And Bigfoot's in my comments dropping hot takes. I just vibe, I don't stress. I got Wi-Fi and a fresh press. Pass that mic, let me flex. Turn the volume up, who's next? Hey, I talk that smack, roll it back, run it back. Blowing clouds while I laugh, yeah, the facts stay whack. Hey, hit that gas, hit that pack, never lack. If it's weird on the net, best believe I react, huh? Yo, I saw a dude marry his A-bop, and another eat a shoe just to prove he's got clout. The world's gone wild, man, I just sit back. Comment section going crazy while I light up a fat stack. UFOs in the sky, but the gov won't say. Meanwhile, Karen's on next door talking about her driveway. I just hit that play, let it all unfold. With a blunt in my hand and a heart full of soul. I tweet it, I make it a show. If it's out of pocket, then I gotta let them know. Deep dive, brainwaves, roll another session. Truth or illusion, man, that's the real question. Hey, I talk that smack, roll it back, run it back. Blowing clouds while I laugh, yeah, the facts stay whack. Hey, hit that gas, hit that pack, never lack. If it's weird on the net, best believe I react, huh? Hey, Mac, talking smack, you know what it do. Light it up, hit record, now I'm vibing with you. From deep dives to memes, I'll be staying intact. So pass that mic, let me bring it right back. Yeah.
What is up, everybody? Thanks for joining. This is a little impromptu, but I had some time, so I wanted to chat with the people. Let me turn my camera on. I hope you guys are doing well. I also want to thank everybody that came and supported me on my my short internship with Lolcow Aussie. That has ended, which is fine. I figured it wasn't gonna, I knew it wasn't gonna be forever. But I had fun while it lasted, got some practice, streaming on camera and stuff like that. So that was nice. The way I was told the internship was technically over was a little bit of a bitch move. I will say that. If I have to talk some smack, so to speak. But we can go into that if we want to. If not, I'm just here to chill. We're gonna go over some weird news stories that I came across, a little bit of Karen Reed, and then also a little bit of Lolcow, because there was a crazy situation that happened in one of the shows. So I thought I'd kind of touch on that because it actually got crazier today. So, gotta do what we gotta do. So hey, Truth Seeker, Sunnyside, Sally Mae. I did give some membership, so welcome to the new Smack Talkers. I know Emmy was here. It's too late for her, but she's showing the love. Thanks, Emmy. I know she's on the East Coast. A lot of my homies are on the East Coast, so it sucks when I do these. Oh God, I didn't even turn my camera on. When I do these late night lives, it is hard for them to miss. So thank you, everybody who is, catching the replay. I appreciate it. I do have my White Claw because I am on vacation. So suck a dick if you are hating on me drinking. Hey, KCG, how are you? Alrighty. Hey, Sunnyside. All right, so yes, I was on Lolcow Aussie for a little bit, about a week. I will say I kind of bullied myself on, hey, Rockabit, good to see you. I kind of bullied my way onto that show as an intern. I'm not gonna lie. It was the only time slot that really worked for me. There was a new host, which, I thought I was cool with. And so I kind of bullied myself into helping out. Like I said, I knew it wasn't gonna last forever. Um, but so Friday, so I was supposed to, like intern all they're Monday through Friday. So Friday I had told them I couldn't before Friday I told them I couldn't do Friday. I was going to see a play that we had tickets for over a year, which was the Book of Mormon, which was really good, by the way. If you guys get a chance to see that, it was hilarious. Hey cheese, what's up? Sunnyside, that is one thing that I had a hard time with, was being mean. People wanted me to be meaner. And it's like, someone has to really piss me off for me to be mean. And, this actually kind of pissed me off, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. So, like I said, I knew I wasn't going to be on there forever. They're like, okay, till further notice. You think that there would be communication when further notice ended, right? So I had to take Friday off because we had tickets to a Broadway play we paid a lot of money for. We've had these tickets for over a year. It was like made a big deal that I missed Friday. Like, oh, you didn't come to work, bitch. I was an intern and I told you that I couldn't make it. Okay. And then so whatever, the weekend comes, find out yesterday that someone is coming back who was originally on Ozzy. And like I said, I knew it wasn't going to last. The Ozzy show is kind of like a boys club, so to speak. And that even was some of the comments that people made to me being on there, that they missed the boys club. So an old host came back that used to be on the show. And so the current host that I was helping out, which I, considered an acquaintance, whatever, he always said that he wanted me to get a show because he felt like I was a real person, blah, 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 whatever. But when I, was like, oh, I guess this person's coming back, it was fun, let me know if you need me for anything, blah, blah, blah. He said, acted like didn't know what was going on. Come to find out, he requested this other person back, which is, like I said, whatever. But don't fucking lie to me, right? Like, you don't gotta lie to kick it. Just be real. Be real. If you claim to be real, be real. So that was just my little rant, so to speak. But like I said, well, if a lolcow show is meant to be for me, it will happen. I'm not going to force it, because that's when shit doesn't work out, when you try and force something, right? So I'm not going to, I'll stream on my own channel, do my own thing. We'll figure it out. If it's meant to be, it will. If not, then whatever. I have my own channel. I have my own people. You guys are my people. And I know a lot of you didn't go over to lolcow. Which I, don't blame you. It's kind of fucking crazy over there. But, yeah. Yeah, Sunny, I know. Why lie? Like, why act like you didn't know what was happening when you asked for this person to come back, Like, and it wouldn't have been a big thing. I'm an easygoing person. I'm fine. But just don't lie to me. The second you lie to me, you break my trust, which I get it. You don't really trust anybody out here. But when you're kind of co-hosting with somebody, you almost expect that line of communication. So, what have you. Yeah, True Seeker. Savage was done really wrong. Yeah, I know, Rockabit. I should know better. But... hey, it's giving me thicker skin, right? Now I can, shoot back if I need to. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna give anybody the benefit of the doubt. Done with that shit. Done with benefits of doubts. I'm doubting everybody. Okay, so I have some clips So there is a situation that happened on Lolcow. Been happening for a little bit, but it kind of just came to a head today and someone got fired, which was kind of crazy. So if we want to, we can dive into that first. So let me pull this up. So there's a clip I have that we'll go over. Right, Sunnyside? Like, why do I have to have thicker skin just because y'all are some bitches? Just because you're a bitch, I have to have thicker skin? Okay. Um, okay. So, backstory on this clip or this situation. So, a couple weeks ago, there was a show called Lolcow Test. And it used to be just for like testing new talent. People would come up there and like, try out whatever. It was basically a 20, not a 24/7 because they don't go 24/7. But it was basically like a tryout show for every day. And then it just turned into like a show. I don't know what they were actually testing or what their content was. It was basically two guys hanging out. But they announced they were having a dating show. So the guy that was going to be on the dating show when I was on Aussie, maybe one of the days, he came up in like full suit, ready for his dating show. He was going to be the guy and he was going to, do a dating show with this girl. And it was adorable because he was all suited up, right? And the kid, I think he's like 30 something years old, but he does have, autism, which we know sometimes they don't get, if you have autism, it's hard to get the social cues, right? Depending on what, where you are on the spectrum. But so they had this girl they basically had her pretend to like him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They made her pretend to like him. And I think one thing, she liked the attention. She was getting attention she was probably not used to. And two, she, I guess, didn't really like this kid. And this kid, who doesn't want to try and find love as a person, right? So they had this girl go on this dating show with him, and then they basically were like, oh, don't you want to have your name match his or have your name match hers? Because in the Lolcow server, if you're a pay pig, your name's purple. I don't know if anybody's been into Discord, but they have the name purple. And so they're like, oh, wouldn't it be cute if your name's matched? So they had this kid pay pig to a channel, which is $100, after he said, I don't think I have money to do that. So basically kind of more or less forced him into getting a membership to this channel that cost $100. And then they use this girl to do it to other people. So that's kind of a gist of what happened, but we're going to pull up a clip. So this is 13 minutes. I'll kind of stop in between and, comment on what they're talking about. So this was a clip from Lolcow Rewind, I believe on Saturday, which funnily enough, I actually jumped on the stream, but after all this went down. Okay, so, that's my camera. And let me make sure all of this, I guess you can see it. I guess it doesn't matter if the chat's over it. Oh God. Let me move this down. Okay, so this is on Lolcow Rewind, and they're talking about how this kid was tricked basically into paying $100 for a membership.
I saw Michelangelo. He was not a fan of Test. He was...
Okay, can you guys hear that? Let me turn the volume up. Let me make sure the Mac screen capture is all the way up. Okay.
Given a Test... gifted or something. SSO Michelangelo found his way into the Test Discord. He wasn't a fan of Test. They wanted him up on a dating show. This girl in the Test Discord really said she had feelings for SSO Michelangelo. He thought she really liked him. Everything publicly, I thought she really liked him. Only I didn't know anything about her.
Okay, so basically they made this kid believe that this girl really liked him. Okay.
From everything I saw from her, it looked like she was really into him. And me seeing SSO Michelangelo talk about his time going into the test dating stream, I think he was on Aussie and he was wearing a suit. He was really excited.
Yes.
He was really like...
Yes. So that was the Aussie I was on. He came up with his little suit and he was really excited to be on this dating show. And then I remember listening to the dating show and thinking, this is kind of weird because they were talking about like doggy style and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Happy to be going to this dating show. And he's not a fan of test. So he was going in like thinking he was got a girl who was really into him. He was like really into it. And she was gassing him up big time.
That's for sure a preference.
Okay, so this is the actual dating show. So another thing this bitch said was it like in the chat, oh my God, you have to get this membership to this channel so, we can talk in voice chat. How are we gonna have a healthy relationship? Like what? I'm sorry, but there are not healthy relationships that are long distance. No matter how hard you try, it never ends up well. So this is the actual dating show. This is the girl Lila. This is Michelangelo. This is the kid that they basically tricked.
Friends. I mean, I don't judge,
I said no. I don't know if you saw me on Aussie and Rastuff was asking me some racy questions.
Yeah. But
I tuned in for a little bit just to send you some kissy face emojis, but I didn't stay for long.
That's cute. That's cute. What I was gonna say, circumcision.
So apparently Grimm had told him, hey, if things go off between the two of you, wouldn't it be cool to have your name up on the pay pig list next to her name?
So this is something some of the shows do. In the beginning, they'll have like a list of who's a crown and who's a pay pig. So they were basically playing into his emotion saying, oh, wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be cool to see both of your names up there together? Oh my God, you guys would look like a couple. But it's like, just
if you two were a couple, wouldn't it be cool for you both to be pay pigs? Your names could show up on the pay pig list. And he's like, yeah, I guess that would be cool. And they do the date, and he's being really funny, and she's really like gassing him up and being really, really sweet and loving to him, really giving him like the treatment. And he's saying like she's the girl of his dreams, right? Ben Killis is Riley gets drunk. So
he said it was the girl of his dreams. How sad is that? Yes, Sunnyside. So a pay pig, they call it a pay pig. That is a membership level in the lolcow universe, and that is $100 a month. And then the next level is a crown membership, and that's $500 a month. And I know that we're like, holy shit, there's nobody that pays that. There's fucking people that pay that. Like, I can show you guys how many crown memberships the LCU has because they like list them on a website. They do like a leaderboard. Like, people do it. It's fucking crazy. When I was on Aussie the first night, they got a crown membership. It was like, it's wild.
He's falling for this girl. At the end of the stream's over. He's had a great time with this girl on stream. Nightmare goes, so what about the pay pig? You said you were going to pay pig up, huh? And he's like, yeah, let me check my bank account. Let me check my bank account and see if my money's in there. And he goes and he checks his bank account and he becomes a pay pig.
The fact that he has to say, oh, let me check my bank account. No, I would have been like, no. If you have to check your bank account, like, don't worry about it, right? You don't want the people supporting you to go broke support. I mean, I guess some people do, but that should have been, the answer, because the hosts in the LCU, they spend a lot of time in the Discord with the fans. You get to know the people in the Discord. It's like an actual community. And so, yeah, it was just like cold-blooded that they were like, oh, yeah, like, check your bank account. See if you have 100 extra bucks to send us. Just so that your name can match this person's name. Like, get out of here.
Did you guys enjoy the date?
Yep.
I had so much fun. I'm so glad I got to participate.
Would you guys go on another day?
Absolutely.
100%.
Are you guys going to be speaking after this day?
That depends on Michelangelo.
Well,
It's his move at this point.
All right. I'm going to do it right now.
Fuck yeah. So Michelangelo, you said
drop the dick pic.
Michelangelo, you said you were gonna pay pig, so you and Lila could be pay pigs together.
Well, let me see if my
Like,
my
how
money came in.
sick.
Would that be
I
insane?
got the friend request.
Like, he's checking his
Fucking
bank
A.
account right now. Oh, shit.
Swear,
And
if the first
here's the thing.
message is a dick.
He's like trying to get this girl. He's trying to riz this girl. Of course, he's going to try. He's going to become a pay pig to try and get her attention, right?
That's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, but he's pointing down right now, so I can.
He's sorting some out. Look, well, the end of the day, what we find out is that Michelangelo is the Riz Lord, like for fucking real. Like some of the shit he said was smooth as fuck, and Lila is a bit of a thirsty bitch. Fair play to her. Like she's been
Oh.
she's
She's more than a thirsty bitch. I mean, it gets worse.
I don't mean thirsty in a negative way. I mean thirsty in a good way. Don't worry about it. She's been
Wait, what is
showing
thirsty in a
some.
good way?
She's been showing some ideas that definitely has Michelangelo's brain a stew in, and you gotta fucking love that.
Yeah, like I said,
this has been a
'cause
really great show.
she was saying that she likes doggy style and shit. Like, what?
I've really enjoyed it. We really appreciate both of you guys coming on today and answering these questions. These really humble. Lila!
I just got paid.
Lila.
Oh, Lila Diolkenvoud. Thank you so much. Come!
So they both pay pigs.
Holy
He's like,
shit!
oh, I just got paid.
Fucking
Found love
A.
tonight, baby.
Guys, we found fucking love for these two. Can we get some fucking W's in the chat
Oh my God,
before we
how
go?
embarrassing,
Holy shit!
Graham.
Michelangelo is now a pay pig. Not that one. Fuck yeah! There's no way. Michelangelo, it is an absolute honor to have you here today, buddy. And same with you, Lila. You guys are fucking amazing.
Becomes a pay pig, and then immediately
I know, Rocket, right? Okay, so then Billy's gonna explain now kind of the story.
after the stream, they're all in after call, and they're like, "Yeah, that was not serious. She doesn't really like you." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And
So they're in an after call voice chat, whatever it is. I don't know what it was. And they tell this kid she actually doesn't like you. It was all a joke.
he's like a little hurt. He's trying to be cool about it.
Could you
They're
imagine?
like
I'm
in
like,
the chat the next day. They're doing their big long stream. They're all having fun, and like they're all talking bad about him, joking about him because he was kind of like he was gooner on the stream. He was being a bit of a gooner. He was acting up. He was being funny. He was the gooner.
She was too, a little bit.
Yeah. So he's like really regretting becoming a pay pig. He's really feeling like this course didn't happen like at fucking all. If I'm wrong, dude, I don't know. This is how I
watched
thought.
it.
Yeah, well, this is how I was told from multiple parties. And this is how people watched. This is how things I saw. This is how I was told. Space Clone Fights. I have to say one thing. I love Rastov. So
Good for you.
So he felt super bummed by it. He felt like he was kind of like fleeced. And honestly, it looks like the hot girl asks him out on a date as a joke, makes him pay for dinner, then laughs with all her friends that the nerd guy got fleeced, right?
fucking cold blooded. It reminds me of like Never Been Kissed when she gets asked to prom by the guy that she has a crush on, and then they end up egging her. Like, this is some straight up mean girl shit, right? So, yeah,
That's
I'll keep
kind
going.
of how it looks, right? And everybody laughs at the nerdy guy. And then like they were like, "Hey, could you please not talk about it? Like, can you please not talk about it?" And he's like, "Okay," but then he sees them joking about him, and he's like, "This is fucked up. They're joking about me." He sent screenshots to Rastov, like, "Why am I not allowed to talk about it, but they're allowed to joke about me in the chat?" So it's like, yeah, that is fucked up. And he's telling people that he feels like he was scammed. You know, he was ripped off, and he sends Rastov a DM explaining everything. And for a while now, he's felt like other shows were trying to get him to pay pig, and they were kind of like forcing him to pay pig. And due to his autism, it felt like he was being pressured, you know?
So then other shows started to try and pressure him into pay pig. They're like, "Oh, this guy seems, I don't know what shows they were, but that's also fucked up."
And it's like, I don't know if it was a regular person without autism, maybe it would still be pressuring. I don't know. But to him, it's like very like, in the message he sent to Rastov, he said, "My mom says I don't make enough money to be pay pigging to these shows."
Oh no.
And when I read that, and I was in the Rewind voice chat, I read that when I asked Michelangelo what was up. He said, "I'll send you what I sent to Rastov." I guess he just sent it to Rastov. When I read that in the Rewind voice chat, I audibly gasped. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And
shit,
people in the Rewind voice chat like, "What's going on?" I was
Sorry,
like, "Ah," and I kind of was like, I was having a moment where I'm thinking like, what do I say? Because I don't want to be like, I don't want to make things weird. So I'm like, I'll say this. I don't want to say too much about the situation. I don't think Michelangelo is in a position to be pay picking to any channels, and he regrets.
The guy in the hoodie, this is Billy the Fridge, Sunnyside. I forgot Sunnyside doesn't know the big like rundown of the LCU. So this is Billy the Fridge. He is co-host of Rewind with Xylee Gets Real, who is down here. This is CD-ROM, who is a host of a different show. He's actually really funny. I I had the last Aussie show I was on actually. Somebody sent a $20 or a $50 dono for me to riz him up, so that was pretty funny. This is a member of the Discord. His name is Poke Gaga. Interesting name. And then that's Xylee, the other host of LolCow Rewind.
Pay picking to test. And that was probably me saying too much, right? That was probably me saying too much. And I saw Michelangelo was in the Nerds Voice chat. So I went down into the Nerds Voice chat and I was talking with him because I just wanted to like give this guy a little hug, you know?
Needed a W.
Yeah, just give him a little hug. Just hang out with him. Just be like a friend. And then Nightmare comes in there and he's like, Michelangelo, will you come into the voice chat with me? Billy, you can come in too so you can be his witness. And I'm like,
so Nightmare is one of the hosts of the show that did the dating game that, look at Xylee's face, that did the dating game with the two people who probably, and this is all just my thoughts of what I think went down. I think the girl wanted to look cool in front of the two hosts of the shows, Nightmare and Grim, of Test. And I think that's why she did it. Also, I think she liked the attention. And so they basically, I want to say behind the scenes, because people said a lot of things happened behind the scenes. They probably were like, hey, you know, let's have you do this dating show with this guy and let's see if you can get a pay pig out of him, right?
Like, sure, yeah. And we go up into one of the studios that we do lives in, and I'm in there with Nightmare, and the first thing Nightmare says is like, so I heard you spent your disability check on the pay pig, and you can't afford groceries or something, right?
Oh shit. Wait, let's back that up. I missed that. You spent your disability check? Are you fucking kidding me?
And I'm in there with Nightmare, and the first thing Nightmare says is like, so I heard you spent your disability check on the pay pig, and you can't afford groceries or something, right? You can't afford. It's like you spent too much money. You spent your disability check on the pay pig, and you can't afford things.
What the fuck, Nightmare? That is out of control.
And I'm like, to me, I'm getting triggered the way he came off. And I'm not even realizing that Michelangelo doesn't care the way he came off. But between me and Nightmare, things are already charged. I shouldn't be the person in this call, really. Like, because me and Nightmare have already had our problems with the Doxx thing. And I start going after Nightmare. I'm like, what the fuck you mean disability check? That's
right? I would have probably did the same shit.
no way to come off of him right off the bat. Rastov sees we're all three in the fucking studio. He's in there immediately. So I'm like, thank God Rastov's here. Rastov's like cooling off everything. Rastov is talking. Grim comes in. And Grim's like, yeah, you know, I would have been here sooner, but I was calming things in our Discord because I guess things got really riled up over there between the parties over there. And we're talking, and Nightmare wanted to offer a refund to SSO Michelangelo, which, you know.
So a refund of the $100.
They thought what they did was not cool.
Right.
Once they figured out all the information, maybe, whatever. But then they were like arguing with him about whether or not he was in on knowing if it was all a joke, right? Like if he was being played or if he was in on it not being a real date. And like me and Rastov and Michelangelo thought that he was in a real date. And we were sitting there arguing like, no, dude, he thought he was really talking to this girl. He really thought this girl was into him. We saw him that night. We saw everything going down. He thought this girl was really into him. He was only pay picking because you guys were saying, wouldn't it be cool to have your name on the thing next to this girl who was into you? Like you guys were pushing this. You were pushing this. You were pushing him. The guy's autistic. And then afterwards, he realizes he was just being led and kind of like fucked with this girl, right? And then this is what really got me. Grim was like, well, listen, the way I see it, this is kind of like if you go out on a date with a woman and you have sex with a woman, and then after the date, the woman is like, no, that was rape. And I'm like,
bro, what?
Yeah.
You got her just to give his money back and say nothing?
Yeah.
Excuse me, what? What?
Yeah. After that, I'm like,
I don't even know what the point of that diatribe is.
He was saying that he didn't trust Michelangelo wasn't having fun and pay pigging, and that he just was like, after he pay pigged, he was regretting pay pigging. And like, I'm like, no.
So it's like buyer's remorse is what
if
he's
you
saying,
look at it, you
maybe.
guys
But
were
that was a fucking bad analogy. I'm sorry.
like cooking him up, making him think he was the man, really pushing the pay pig on. You're gonna pay pig. Don't you want to be pay pigged on our pay pig next to her, making her real think that he was the man, bring it up multiple times, and then to say that shit to like make him, this autistic boy, feel like he afterwards didn't change wanting it. I'm like, ooh, that's a weird fucking take. That's a weird fucking take. And then it wasn't sitting right with me. And it's whatever, right? Because like they gave him his money back, and they're like, and when we get this money back, we don't want to hear anything about this ever again.
Okay, so they told this kid, okay, we're gonna give you back your $100, right? We're gonna give you back your $100 because obviously they felt they did something wrong, but they said you cannot talk about this anymore. At that point, this feels like hush money, no?
But of course you fucking don't. What you guys did was fucked up. In my mind, it was fucked up. Of course you don't want to hear about this ever again. This is a shitty thing to do. This guy is fucking hurt, and like, you don't think you did anything wrong. You want to argue whether or not he was in on it. Like, I think you should stop pressuring people into becoming pay pigs all the time.
Yeah.
I think, you know what you could say that'll probably work at not having to talk about this ever again? Hey man, I'm sorry. This was wrong. Let us make it right. Here you go.
Yeah, instead they make this analogy where...
I don't know, Billy. I find that usually works. What do you think?
They did. They gave him the money.
Yeah, but not after making that analogy where I think that this is really like when a woman had a good time, but
they gave him the money but said, please don't mention this again because it looks really bad for us.
And the next morning revokes consent. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right, like...
And then like I sit on it, and then Keemstar, poke caca.
Xylee, the washing machine combo sounds pretty good right now. Rolling on the floor laughing. Emoji.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, okay, Gaga. I'd much rather be talking about fucking washing machines right now, bro.
And then the next day, Rastov, everybody goes to sleep. Rastov gets up. We have a day. We're in a call with Keem. Keem had just talked to Nightmare and told Nightmare, he said, look, if you can make someone cry, I'll give you a $100 bonus. And then I think Rastov made a joke about you gonna send the $100 to Nightmare, or you just gonna send it right to Grim. And I said, you should send the $100 to SSO Michelangelo. And then Keem's like, what does that mean? And Rastov's like, Billy, you son of a bitch. Because he hadn't told him yet.
Right.
So I told Keem, and Keem was like, what the fuck?
Okay, so in, Keem's defense, he didn't know this happened. He doesn't know a lot of the stuff that happens just because, sometimes you weigh it between like, is it really, worth making a big deal out of? But I think this was something that should have had a big deal made about it.
SSO Michelangelo in here. And we're like, well, he didn't want this to get out. He wanted everything to be done. And Keem's like, no, I want to hear this. And so we pulled SSO Michelangelo in, and we talked with him, and Keem was like, fuck, this is a huge thing. And of course, Grim and Nightmare put themselves in waiting because they see us in a call with Keem and Rastov and Xylee and Billy and SSO Michelangelo, and they know exactly what's going down. So they're just waiting to say their piece.
So if you've ever been in a Discord before and you see a voice chat where you can see the people that are in the voice chat, that's what it was like. So they basically saw Keem, the owner of everything, SSO Michelangelo, the guy they scammed, with Billy and Xylee, which are these two people, and Rastov, who's like another host of the LCU and the community manager. And so they both hopped into waiting to try and be like, oh, hey, what you guys talking about? To, see if they were being snitched on.
And we basically talk it out with SSO Michelangelo. We get to an agreement with him and then pull them in. And at that point, it's like, it's whatever. And they came in and it was whatever. But SSO Michelangelo, he's a good dude. He jumps up on all the shows. He has fun. He has autism, but he's also an entertainer. He plays with us. He jokes. When it was brought up that he was hurt, Nightmare said, it wasn't like we made gifs of him. All the other shows make gifs of what he does. Like we didn't even make any gifts of him. He makes the gifts himself. He makes the gifts himself. He shares the gifts of himself because he's proud of what he does on the other shows.
Right.
There were no gifts of him on your show because he wasn't happy with what happened. He was hurt by it.
Rude.
Like, you guys are flying really fast and loose with what you do. You're the bro show. You're having fun. You don't care about other people's feelings. You care entirely too much about your own feelings. You've lost beans over it. You've lost my friendship over it because you cared more about the fucking children, the Welsh children, than you did about a dick joke.
Okay, so that whole part is because this subscriber brought up a clip of Nightmare, who is Welsh, trying to teach Grim, his coworker, who's, he lives in America, how to say thank you in Welsh. And it sounded a lot like doxx, okay? And so Xylee, because they get made fun of that they don't rewind on rewind. So Xylee was like, please make this clip interesting. And so then Billy made a doxx joke. And then Nightmare got all pissed off and like, it was out of control. And so that kind of started this little feud between him and Billy the Fridge. And so that's what he's referring to.
You fucked this up. Check yourselves. This is a fucking guy who has autism, who was a fan of the show, who you guys brought onto your show for a dating thing. And it would have been perfectly fucking funny, and he would have been perfectly fucking happy with everything. And he probably would have been perfectly fucking fine with it not being a match if you guys weren't like, hey, you should pay pig before and after. All you had to do was leave a little fucking money off the table and not push him a little fucking further for that $100. And he probably would have been fine with being used for everything else. The content would have been fucking fine.
Right.
But you greedy little fuckers made it just that fucking hard for him. Are you not getting enough from everybody else? That type of shit is the fall of Test. Everybody who helps you guys out there, you have so many people that fucking love you, but that's not enough. That's why I'm mad. That's why this story should be told. That's why when you call me a piece of shit, I think to myself,
maybe not.
I don't think so. I call bullshit. Look in the fucking mirror, both of you. You're fucking brats. You had opportunities here to be good fucking hosts. You had people who believed in you. All you've done is spit and piss in the face of people who have helped you along the way. Don't mess with Test. Fuck that. You mess with yourselves.
Okay. So that was kind of the long and short of the main part of that story. It got crazier because they then told this girl, the same girl, that she should maybe pretend to date another guy to get him to Crown, which is a $500 membership. And so that kind of got exposed today. It was found out that the other host... Oh, shit. There's a new video that dropped about all of this. Oh, God, it's 28 minutes. Maybe we'll do that a different day. Because... Oh, God. Yeah, maybe we'll do that a different day. So there is another video that came out by the same person about this situation. So I will save that. Maybe I'll do a live tomorrow on it. So then they basically were trying to pimp her out to get a Crown membership from a different guy. And then one of the hosts ended up making insensitive remarks towards a specific race. So he was fired. And then they basically made the kid that they scammed, he is now the co-host with the other guy. So that's his punishment. Okay, so I had a couple other funny stories. Let's see, how long have we been live? About 40 minutes. No, let's do some of these. Okay, so let's do this one because this kind of made me laugh. Okay, let me turn my screen capture back on. Oh lordy, I need to. Okay, and let's move it. And let's transition. Okay, so we bought a peeing robot attack dog from Temu. It was even weirder than expected. So for less than the cost of a round of drinks, a plasticized Boston Dynamics fever dream could be yours too. No fucking thank you. I've seen these Boston Dynamic dogs, and they're wild. Like, look at that thing. And they like open doors, which is even creepier. And that, oh God, and it's supposed to pee? Okay, so in my 15 years of reviewing tech, this pellet firing, storytelling, pretend urinating robot attack dog is easily the strangest thing I've ever tested. So this is shit's on Temu. That is out of control. Temu might be doing too much. It arrives in a slightly battered box following a series of questionable decisions on Temu. I feel like all Temu shit is battered. I'm immediately drawn to the words fire bullets pet emblazoned on the box. And there, resting behind the protective plastic window with all the innocent of a newborn lamb, lies the plastic destroyer of worlds that my 4.5-year-old immediately and explicitly names Clippy. Please don't laugh at my pronunciations. Clippy is a robot dog of sorts, and my son assures me that it's a he, is clearly influenced by the remarkable and somewhat terrifying robot canine creations of Boston Dynamics, a renowned company that's leading the robot revolution. Look at that, though. No, we don't need these. Hold on. We do not need these. Like, why do we need robot dogs? Especially from Temu. I'm not going to trust shit from Temu. So naturally, given the $50 price tag, a little less if you don't want the spinal mounted pellet gun. Why does it have to have a pellet gun? I'm not expecting Clippy to perform miracles, but given my track record being served an Instagram ad promising all manner of animatronic wizardry for less than the cost of a round of drinks in a London bar, the opportunity was too tempting to pass up. What happened almost inevitably was a lesson in not taking the social media ads you are served at face value, but actually it was a lot of ridiculous fun. So Clippy's main body, filled with the bulk of the electronics, is weighty enough, but his 4 spindly legs do not give the impression that they're up to the task of supporting anything. Okay. So overall, the entire ensemble resembles an elongated CCTV camera on legs. So it's a camera? That's fucking weird. I'm sorry. We do not need these robot dogs. Oh God, I can just imagine the like scary movies with all the fucking robot dogs trying to kill us. Okay, it's multi-talented. It does kung fu. It swims and dance. I recently saw Usher perform live. Both of these buttons involve vigorous floor humping that surpassed even his most sexually charged efforts. A truly positive feat. Oh, and a side note for any optimists out there, Clippy is not waterproof. I repeat, do not introduce him into water. Okay, so it looks like there's a remote that kind of looks like the remote for that submarine that went down to the Titanic. Okay. So Clippy, as terrible as he is, has entertained my son daily. For the week that we spent with testing him, he brought him into our bedroom every morning, waking me up with a shrill, intelligible story before blasting out a guitar riff with enthusiasm that is already wearing thin. Okay, let's look at some. I want to see some Boston Dynamics robot. Let's look at these bitches. Yeah, I think it was like this one I saw.
Hey, go.
Yeah, look at this shit, dude.
More passion, more energy, more footwork, more passion, more.
That might be a copyrighted song, but look at it, like, opens the doors. It'll like fight you to open the doors. No thanks, sir. No, thank you. Okay. Well, long story short, like I said, I don't trust those fucking robots. Don't buy them from Temu. Also, I think Temu's like super expensive now with these import fees, so ain't even worth it anymore. All right, well, thank you guys for joining. Quick little live to get me back started over here. I keep saying this, but I'm gonna try to do more of a schedule over here because I do miss you guys. Being over in the locale universe is exhausting, especially I'm on 2 of the docket teams, so it's nonstop. And then I was on a show that I kind of had to do all the research for shit and do their docket. It's taxing. But now that I'm just on docket teams, I'm going to come visit over here a little more. All right, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Thanks for joining me. You know what I'll do? Just to... Let's see. Let's do something. But yeah, so like I said, gonna try and do a little bit more of a schedule over here. I'm on vacation this week, so I might be spotty. I'm gonna try and maybe do 2 more weekday streams. I'm gonna have to try and do these earlier though, because most of my people are sleeping. No, that's not what I wanted. Alrighty, so I hope you guys have a good night. I know I probably said that already, but I really hope you have a really good night. I probably won't stream tomorrow unless I do it in the daytime. So if you're listening to this, maybe I'll see you in the daytime. If not, probably Wednesday, because I do have an event I'm going to tomorrow night. Might get a tattoo, so maybe I'll have something to show you guys. So hopefully you guys have a good rest of your evening / day, whatever it is for you. If you're on the replay, thank you so much. Please hit the like button. And I will see you next time.